So we are done with the Redmi Note 7, right? Well, there is still Redmi Note 7 Pro to come. Yes, Xiaomi is not going to skip the Pro version, as that is going to be the successor to Redmi Note 6 Pro or Note 5 Pro, since both are almost the similar phones in terms of the specifications. Now, one thing that is confirmed about the Note 7 Pro is a 14 megapixels rear camera. Now you might argue that Redmi Note 7 also has a 14 megapixels camera. Well, the difference lies in the sensor. The normal Redmi Note 7 has a 14 megapixel Samsung GM1 sensor, whereas the Redmi Note 7 Pro has a 14 megapixels Sony IMX 586 sensor. Actually, Xiaomi was going to use Sony IMX 586 on Redmi Note 7 as well, but there were some supply issues which caused the company to use Samsung GM1 sensor instead. On paper, the Sony IMX 586 is way better than Samsung GM1 sensor because the GM1 sensor can actually only do 12 megapixels, but interpolates to 48 megapixels. On the other hand, the IMX 586 has a quad bare array that is arranged in 4x4 for a pixel count of 48 million. So on paper, the Samsung's GM1 sensor is a 14 megapixel sensor, but it is actually the IMX 586 that is truly a 48 megapixel sensor. So that was all about the camera sensor. Now let's talk about the processor. Since the Redmi Note 7 has a Snapdragon 660 processor, the Redmi Note 7 Pro can either have Snapdragon 670, 675 or the 710. Today, a source revealed on Weibo that Redmi Note 7 Pro has the Snapdragon 675 processor. This means that it will be one of the first phones to launch with this processor. Now most of you might think that Snapdragon 675 lies between the Snapdragon 670 and 710 in terms of the performance. But there is something that you should know about this processor. First, the Snapdragon 675 is an 11 nanometer processor compared to the 10 nanometer Snapdragon 670 and 710. The Snapdragon 675 has the Cryo 460 CPU, which is powerful than the Cryo 360 CPU on Snapdragon 670 as well as the Snapdragon 710. So talking about just the CPU performance, the Snapdragon 675 is obviously better than both Snapdragon 670 and 710. Now coming to the GPU, the situation is completely opposite. Snapdragon 675 has an Adreno 612 GPU, which is less powerful than Adreno 615 on Snapdragon 670 and Adreno 616 on Snapdragon 710. So in terms of the GPU performance, the 675 sits below the 670 and 710. Also, the 675 has a less capable image signal processor or ISP, and Qualcomm has done all this to keep the cost of this processor low. So overall, you will see that Antutu score of the Snapdragon 675 is higher than both the Snapdragon 670 and 710. But if you look at the score in detail, you will see the same thing that I talked about before. That is, the CPU score is higher and the GPU score is lower than the scores of Snapdragon 670 and 710. It is a good thing that Xiaomi is going for such a powerful processor for Redmi Note 7 Pro, but this was kind of expected since after Redmi Note 7 launched with Snapdragon 660, then only 3 options were there to choose from. Finally, talking about the price and the launch date, Xiaomi has already revealed that phone is launching after the Spring Festival in China that is happening on 5th of February. So we will most probably see the Redmi Note 7 Pro launching in China in February. As far as pricing is concerned, there is no official word on that, but looking at how aggressively the Note 7 is priced in China, the pricing of Redmi Note 7 Pro is definitely going to be impressive. So what do you think the price of Redmi Note 7 Pro is going to be? Do let me know in the comment section below, and as always, I will catch you in the next one.